often put it this way. In order for us to be in the state that we're in today as people, we have to be out of our minds. We literally have to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be backwards. It is necessary for us to be maladjusted. It is necessary for us to be disunited. It is necessary for us to be self-hating. It is necessary for us to be filled with an inferiority complex. In a world where the European is essentially about 10% of the world's population, if that 10% is to continue to rule over the other 90%, it must keep that 90% out of its mind. It must keep that 90% in a state of deception. It must keep
Now, I'm back. Technical difficulties. Shout out to my man Mo. He's the executive producer of the show. One no sound. Thank you for tapping in. This is Brian HRap B. Williams. As you know, the TEODB.com. If you're not watching live, thank you for your assistance. See, all you people that sit around, man, black people don't help each other. Proof. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is the New World. And as I was saying before, when the microphone was off, not the New World Order, not the hocus pocus and the spooks and all this and the secret societies that y'all all know the secrets to, which makes me question what kind of secret is it. But we're going to talk about what's going on in the world today and Black America and in the world, and how every time I'm going to close the show out by showing you every time we do well, the rest of the world does better. And it's because we are the roots of the world. Now, with that being said, I want to thank my parents, Dolores and John. Without Dolores, who's left hand, that's why I always go left hand, so am I. Without Dolores and John, there'd be no me. You'd be doing something else with your valuable time. If you're not watching this live, go to www.theendofthebench.com. On the left side will be this episode in its entirety. On the right side will be Black history information that will enhance your spiritual soul and your being. Thank you. Again, hit that like, hit that share. You know it's important to do that. Keep me in the algorithm. And hey, when you get off, what I want you to do is come back and type in where you watching from. It's important. Keep me in the algorithm. Expand, expand, expand. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, as I said, man, we're in tumultuous times. We are actually living in reverse. We are actually living in reverse. One of the call symbols that I say every day is my goal is to make life for my great-grandchildren's grandchildren to live a better life. But at this rate, my great-grandchildren's grandchildren are going to be living like my great-grandmother's grandmother in bondage. That's what we're looking like right now, because the world that I live in, I don't have any grandchildren as of this moment. I do have 2 adult children. At this point, my children have less rights than I do. As a matter of fact, if this thing goes through the House, I'm going to have less rights than I had Friday. How about that? This is what I want you to understand. We are in a idiotic time in history. We are going backwards. And I told you guys 365 days ago, I told you 365 days ago, the people who are trying to take over this government, they're not trying to get you back to the 1950s. They're trying to get you back to the 1850s. And people told me I was over exaggerating. People told me, man, rap, man, that's a bit much. And then you got the dummies. And hey, It is what it is. You have the dummies that never seen Trump say anything prejudiced. And just because they don't agree with you don't mean they're racist. Hey, you know what? As I posted on TikTok a few days ago, I'm not going to have a conversation with anybody that Harriet Tubman would have shot. There it is. Now, what I want us to understand is this. We are in the midst of a war. We are in the midst of a war. They're literally, look. When I told you we're living in reverse and we're in the midst of a war. Let's just go back to the 30s, late 40s, when people, the brown shirts and the brown boots over there in Germany, they were grabbing people and sending them to concentration camps. Do you understand that your president has ICE grabbing people from the Latino community, grabbing people from the Haitian community, grabbing people from the African community and other Asian communities and sending them to Venezuela? And sending them to prisons in Venezuela, and the Supreme Court said, hey, you can't do that. He said, who gonna stop? Who gonna check me, boo? Like that meme you see with the sister from the 60s. Who gonna check me? This is the problem. Y'all let this happen. And just because it's not happening to you, guess what? I remember about 5 years ago, probably to this day, Black people wasn't getting COVID that bad. But by August, my man Anthony Green, Lavisa Hall, and a few other people I know had passed away from COVID, but it wasn't affecting Black people because so y'all thought y'all had the truth serum or the super serum like Captain America. Nope. You thought you had some of Wolverine blood. Nope. Just didn't get around to you yet, and that's what's going on right now. It hasn't gotten around to you. Anytime you have the president of the United States ignoring the highest court in the land, that's a problem. Nobody's talking about that. Anytime you have videos of an older white gentleman, I can't think of his name, and he's sitting there with a young Asian man. He said, hey, man, how do you go along with this dude and you are stoked the fact that he's always lying? And the man looked him right in the eye on camera and continued to eat as if he said something heavenly. He said, because I want the white people to be back in charge. We created this country, and we don't want to lose our power. Basically, he said, hey, this is a white nation and we need to be in charge. I told you a couple of weeks ago, and I've told you several times, every time there's an accomplishment in Black America, white people stand up and say, hold my beer. We need to burn down their towns. We need to kill their leaders. We need to give them some mystical, magical kryptonite called crack cocaine. Amazingly, in the 70s, they tried to teach the metric system in academics in elementary and in high school, and according to them, it was unsuccessful. 10 years later, in the 80s, a kilo is 1,000 grams. You know the whole metric system, and you know 9mm, and you know how to load a semi-automatic weapon, and you know how to do all this stuff that they couldn't teach you in academia, but you found out how to do it on the streets. And then you got people that say, well, that's because they wanted to do it. Yeah, okay. Believe that if you want. But what I want you to understand is this, man. If the highest court in the land can't tell someone what to do, that is the dictionary definition of fascism. These dudes are megalomaniacs. Y'all don't want to, oh man, it ain't that serious. And you got all these foolish conspiracy theories. No, it's not a conspiracy. A conspiracy is something that is concealed and then comes to the light. Now, people knew this was coming, but you had people, I really don't like Vice President Harris. Nobody asked you to have a baby by. Nobody asked you to marry her, but I was winking at her. But that's neither here nor there. Nobody asked you to have a relationship with them. You put yourself in the least amount of danger when you are dealing with these situations. And people who don't, they suffer the consequences. See, we are living in the age of ignorance, and ignorance is pervading throughout, it's flowing like blood through your veins. And people are embracing this ignorance, which is, I heard. Well, it seems like. Well, did you look into it? No. But you know who the backup running back on your team. Oh, that's Fred Jackson. He's from Florida State. He was there for 3 years. He rushed 3,500. Wait a minute. That's not going to help you. But you know that. You know who the free agents are. You know who the coaches are. You know who the general managers are. You even know the schemes that the defense and offense are playing. But you don't know that this dude who literally stood in front of the world said, I want to be a dictator. It's a dude who has no problem quoting and acting like Adolf Hitler. He is not bright enough to not allow things to come out of his mouth that is detrimental to his life. but we continue to do this. He's clearly in someone's pocket, because I've never seen the vice president stand next to the president in the White House. But you got this other guy who's standing there and controlling them, because what they've conditioned you to do, and they conditioned all of us to do it. This is a condition that goes, that's older than the United States of America. The United States of America only 249 years old. This condition has started before. This is during the 16 and 1700s. So this is before the United States started. They got you believing money means something. But when you study history, this is why they want to do away with academia. Because when you study history, you see the Mali dynasty and people like Mansa Musa, who was running around handing out gold. Like, it's nothing. I have so much of it, because money means nothing. It's substance over style. But people love saying those quirky things. People love participating in that kind of talk, but they don't live it. Oh man, I'm a person of substance. And I'll give you $100, you slap your mama. Yeah, I do that. I just tell her later on, I'll give you $1 million, you slap your mama. So somebody can give you $1 million to disrespect the most important person in your history. Man, without your mother, you're not here. But people are like, yeah, man, my mama just have to understand, because you worship money more than you honor your parents. See, a lot of us sit around and we make these half-ass judgments, and we listen to people. We are literally watching a television, televised lies, lie vision. And then when they say black people are no good, Latino people are no good, poor white people are no good, oh, they're crazy. Black people ain't no good though. But the other two going, and we move it around. Then all three of us get together and hate the gay people or the LGBTQIE people. And we continue to fall our foolish behinds into the trap every single time. You ever wonder why they don't want you to learn? Because when you learn, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power right here. Knowledge is power right here. Knowledge is even power right here. So if I get you the reduction in reading, then I can tell you what to think. It's funny. Month before last was Black History Month, created by a brother by the name of Carter G. Woodson. He's an ancestor right now. In 1933, he published a book called The Miseducation of the Negro. He published this book. And one of the excerpts from the book is, if you can control somebody's mind, you don't have to worry about their body. He goes on to even say, I'm paraphrasing, he goes on to say, if I can control your mind, I'll make you go through the back door. And if it's not a back door, you will ask for a back door. And you know what? When I read that, the first thing I thought of is how many times I got on a city bus here in Chicago and went straight to the back, because they have control of even my old HRap, even HRap. They got control of my mind too. And then, oh man, whoa, no, you're not. You know what you are? You that period of sleep that you know it's like 20 minutes before you wake up. That's why I'm still asleep though. But these are the things that I want you to understand that's going on. They're controlling our minds. They make, I'm going to move my kids to a better school district. No, you're not. Because guess what? I grew up in the all-time hood. I'm talking about projects on both sides of the street, the hood on the other side of the street. William E. Gladstone, Ethan Allen Elementary. They were sister schools. You went to Ethan Allen until you got to like 6th grade, and then you moved to Gladstone. And then Gladstone was a solo school, because then they moved. Ethan Allen turned into an alternative school. But the hood was still all around, right? And William E. Gladstone has some of the best educators in the history of Chicago, Illinois. And I know that to be a fact, because they did things that they didn't have to do. Like, they even broke the rules for us. Oh, they broke the rules. How's that good? You know how they broke the rules? They made us understand how important Martin Luther King was. We should be doing Malcolm X too, but they made us understand no school tomorrow. We're gonna write you in as here, because we're gonna honor Dr. King on our own. We're gonna not to stop our funding, but we're gonna honor Dr. King on our own. Mark you present. You understand, oh, who's this Dr. King guy? Then you look into it, then guess what they did? They started this thing called the Academic Olympics. What? All the kids in the school competing against spelling and mathematics and science and creativity. They created that for us. And they were all people, most 85 to 95%, 99% of the teachers in that school looked just like me. The Miss Bradleys, the Miss Lewis, the Miss Johnsons, the Miss Adams, the Mr. Gardners, the Mr. Lonnie Gardner, what was his name? Mr. Calloway, Dr. Falk. They all looked like me, and they cared. And they knew my mother, and they knew my aunts, and they knew my grandmothers, both of them, my dad's mother and my mom's mother. So how is that better in a neighborhood who has more amenities? Or what we could do is stop complaining, start buying land around school, let those and then make sure those taxes are being pumped into William E. Gladstone, Richard T. Crane, and Krieger High School, making sure that they are pumping that money into those so they have updated amenities, and then we'll have equal opportunities. But see, we're not doing that. We just gonna move, and no disrespect to anybody from moving to the suburbs. I have no problem with that. But we're just gonna move to Bellwood and Maywood. We're gonna move up to Skokie and Evanston, and we're gonna move to Sauk Village and Richmond Park and things like that that surround the suburbs of Chicago. And our kids gonna be called that magic word, and those teachers are gonna allow you to get a C, because they don't anticipate you being any better than C student. But it's better, right? No, it's not. This is the war that's just being waged against you. You know how I know it's a war? Because 2% of the people right after the Dark Ages in Europe were able to read. 2%. 2%. That means, again, control that mind, and then you got to worry about them revoking, because if I assume it gets no better, it ain't going to get no better. I don't have to make it better. And then we're basing our lives on what we had after enslavement. Your history doesn't start at age 16, 19. Your history doesn't start at 1492. Your history starts at let there be light. And we were here. We're not, I ain't no African. Oh, that's them. Really? Okay. You're not part of the oldest and most developed and the most dynamic civilization in the history of the world, but you would rather be identified as a descendant of a captive human being forced into slavery, raped, beaten, and scarred. That's where you want to draw your source of power from? I'm going to have to question that. I'm going to have to question it. We must start to question these narratives that we believe. We can let these chains go. We don't have to embrace this foolishness, y'all. But that's what we're dealing with. Another thing, they even trick us into the laws. Oh, well, see, guess what? Like I said at the top of the show, do y'all know if that SAFE Act is passed, I can't vote no more, because my name was not, I was not born Brian Williams. I legally changed my name to that. My degrees, my high schools, all this stuff says this, but that ain't what my birth certificate said. So guess what? Oh man, we protected it. But no, what you're doing is a lot of people of African descent that was born and raised and descended were captive and enslaved here in America. They come to a reckoning and change their names. I'm gonna be Muhammad Ali. I'm not gonna be Cassius Clay the Fifth anymore. I'm gonna be Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would have been able to vote in this thing. My name is El Malik Shabazz. I can't vote no more because that's not what my birth certificate said. My birth certificate says Malcolm Little. My name is the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oh, y'all didn't know that wasn't his birth name. His birth name is Michael King Jr. Yeah. So Dr. King, he died. He couldn't even vote right now if that act goes through. Did y'all know that? Like I told y'all, man, Texas. Remember I told y'all a week ago, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. Told y'all a couple weeks ago, look short, not long ago. I said, hey man, they always test stuff out in Texas. They always test stuff out in Florida. They test stuff out in Louisiana. They test stuff out in Arizona and Wisconsin. Ding, ding, ding. It's Texas' turn. Hey man, you know what they did? They made it so in Texas, you got to pay child support from the inception of the child. Now, again, on the surface, you going, well, that ain't bad, man. All these deadbeat dudes, they ain't take care of their kids. Man, we don't want to take care of these people's kids, man. If you get somebody pregnant, you need to be take care of the kids. You got to pay for prenatal care. You got to pay for the vitamins. You got to go to the man. They need to be chipping in, right? That's what you're saying, right? But the reality of it is this: they want to control a woman's body. How? You paying the child support. But if I start paying for a child that is in its embryonic stage, you know what that is? That means that's a person. So if you go get an abortion, you kill somebody, you go to jail. Ta-da! Mic drop moment. Didn't think about that, did y'all? Because they got you believing what they say. Let me see what somebody said. Thank you very much, Theodora. Thank you. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say this to everybody who's in the chat room. I really appreciate you. Booyah! That's what I'm saying, though. But look at how they address something up. I mean, we want to protect the voters. I mean, if your name ain't on your birth certificate, so that means Theodora, her name is not Theodora anymore. Her name is Theodora Harper, but that's not her name anymore. She can't vote. My man, one of my closest friends, he getting married in September. His wife can't vote no more. Look at what, see, it is a way to control things. And you know, well, he ain't trying to do all that stuff, man. Ain't none of that happen. Oh, man, they're gonna cut Medicaid. You're right, they're not gonna cut Medicaid, but if they move the age up to 72, and most people dying at 68, that's removing a lot of money from Medicaid. But hey, because you've been taught, hey man, see, he's the richest man in the world, so we need to respect him. Nah, you know what? You can go to the gown. I learned when I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna say this. I learned one of the greatest lessons in the history of my life from a homeless man selling homeless man newspapers. About to go play baseball. Had my glove with me. My man Draz, and there's a couple other. I think it was a couple of us, like 5, 6 of us. It had to be at least 4. We about to go play baseball. I got my glove. He said, "Hey, can I see your glove?" And I'm thinking, if this old man try to take my glove, I'm gonna beat him to sleep. I'm gonna beat him to sleep. And the next thing you know, he said, "Hey, boy, I played baseball when I was in college." I said, "College? Are you kidding?" And I didn't have the courage to say it, but I was thinking, "Yo, man, how you homeless? He went to college." That means dark times come. They come in different ways. You never know what hit you, and you end up stepping on the corner. So just because you have a lot of money or just because you got a lot of degrees don't mean you are intelligent. I know some of the dumbest people I know got college degrees, and I'm not kidding. I mean, I wouldn't trust them. Never mind. I know some non-intelligent people with all that. They got degrees on their wall. Dumb as hell. So just because you have some type of status or a whole lot of money does not mean you're more important than anybody. Matter of fact, when you have to let people know, I'm the richest man in the world. I have 2 cars. I have 10 houses. I have this. Look at me. You never heard Steve Jobs, who's considered one of the most intelligent, one of the most innovative, one of the hardest working men in the world. You never heard him say that. You never heard Bill Gates say, I got this much money. You never hear about how rich Warren Buffett is out of his mouth. When Warren Buffett speaks, he speaks about helping other people understand how to get rich. Hey, man, you can get this too. Hey, man, you can do everything that I'm doing. That's what you hear Warren Buffett say. So how is it that these other jokers, they always telling you how great they are? Why are you always breaking your arm, patting yourself on the back? Because I was going to say something. I'm not going to. Boy, if y'all can hear the stuff that going through in my head, y'all, this would be probably a much better show. But it wouldn't get nothing accomplished, but y'all would laugh. But these are the things I want you to understand. These are the things that I want you to understand, that these things are coming about. You never tell people much. Tell people how great you are. When you are great, only person that I will accept saying I'm the greatest of all time is Muhammad Ali. And not because I like Muhammad Ali, because I understood that was to get people to, half the people to hate him, half the people to like him, all the people come watch, he get more money. When you're doing it like that, that's cool because it's a caricature. It's a caricature. I'm hyping things up so you'll pay attention to them, bam. But when you have to tell people, I'm really, really smart, and then you say something stupid right after that, hey, I don't know. y'all know what time it is. It's that time of the show where HRap give y'all some history to embark upon. Hey, as you see, trigger warning. Y'all see that? This is some this video discusses sensitive topics about sex trafficking, medical, sexual violence, and abuse. I want y'all to understand it's not gonna be gory, but I want you to listen. Don't get angry. Don't get angry when you learn about your history, because anger, maybe you should get angry. Get angry and then do something. Don't just get angry. Oh, I'm mad, and then don't do nothing. Teach your grandchildren, teach your nieces, teach your nephews, teach your cousins, teach your friends, teach your significant others. You know, I was watching that dude with HRap. He be talking all the time. He has some interesting stuff. You should watch it. And then go to www.theendingbest.com and watch it. But I want you to pay attention to this. It's important. I'll be back shortly. And check this out.
Discusses sensitive topics about sex trafficking, medical sexual violence, abuse, and exploitation that some viewers may find disturbing. This is the slavery era in America, a time when rape was legal, sex, power, and violence were part of everyday life. The system was designed to keep the slaves without power, without knowledge, and without even the slightest hope for change. The only thing white America cared about was how the slaver could maximize their profit. Some people will tell you that black men weren't tortured that much, because as property, it was in the master's best interest to avoid damaging their property. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The whole concept of torture came about because there were no consequences. Anyone could do whatever they wanted with their property. Just take a look at the tools they used to torture these people. Chained by the neck, like some kind of animal. Fastened with a head frame and a mouthpiece to prevent him from eating. And iron weights to make sure he wouldn't run away. Life expectancy for a black American slave born into slavery was just 21 or 22 years, compared to whites 40 to 43 years. About 50% of enslaved babies died in the first year of their life. That was twice the death rate of white babies. Those who survived were trained to be completely dependent on their master. This was the only way to keep them from running or revolting. Sexual abuse was a big part of slavery, just as much as it was for women as it was for men. For men, though, it was a different kind of torture. Lewis Clark, a former slave, once said,
"Most people don't know this, but almost 100% of homeowners can now make the switch to solar with battery backup."
That a slave can't be a man because he could not protect his female kin from being sexually assaulted by owners and overseers. He had to sacrifice his mother, sister, wife, and daughter. He had no other choice but to turn a blind eye. The sexual abuse of black men and boys is heavily recorded throughout history, but it is rarely talked about. That's because there were no limits to the depravity of humankind. White women also sexually assaulted their male slaves. When slavery was at its peak,
as I stated, that will anger you. That should anger you. You should be angry as all hell right now. I kind of took a pride because I'm a descendant. My great-grandmother, Mattie Mae Turner, is related to Nathaniel Turner. If you know who Nathaniel Turner is, we don't play them games. That's all I'm saying. But it's horrible because you know what? My other great-grandmother, she didn't have that privilege to be related to that. And you never know what happened to my grandmother, because I heard my great-grandmother was mean. Just, and she wasn't because she just wanted to be. She was because of what she had gone through. So that should anger us. And when you see things like that, and remember earlier in the show, I said this, and I say this all the time. When life get better for us, it get better for everybody. So then I'm shut this thing down. I'm showing you shut this thing down. Remember I told y'all, they didn't just go out to the jungles like they tell us to just grab a bunch of black people and then go say, hey, black guy, you gonna sell out to help us. They didn't do that. That's not the way it happened. It's not the way it happened. But they had to learn how to do that. Now, this country started 1776. We're gonna go back to 1760, 16 years before the Revolutionary War. 16 years before the Revolutionary War. And see, I've been slipping because I set these things up so I could walk y'all through that. You know, see, like danger. To see that was there, danger in our faces, and then the law's not your friend because you see the laws that are there, and then to close, Tacky's revolt in Jamaica of 1760. Why are we talking about Jamaica in 1760, Rap? HRap is going to tell you why he's talking about Tacky's War in 1860. Why he's talking about Tacky War in 1860. Tacky was a general. He was a general of a part. Him and his other enslaved people, other captured people from the continent, they came from northwest Africa, what we call Ghana now. These people are the Carmenti. They're part of the Carmenti people. And they are a combination of the people in the tribes like around Ghana, Sierra Leone, and things like that. So these people are in close proximity to each other, so they know how to communicate. They may speak different languages like pop, Chicago, soda in New York, soda, water in Mississippi. Same kind of thing, but it's different. But we can all communicate. Gym shoes in Chicago, sneakers in New York, kicks. Well, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing. So they made the mistake of putting all those people, sending them to Jamaica, where we outnumbered them 40 to 1. Again, let's take it back to last week. How could we possibly be a minority when they needed more of us to do the work? And they don't need as many of them. I'm just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm just saying. But, so this General Tacky organized one of the greatest revolts of enslaved people in the history of the world. But the British, which Jamaica at the time was more valuable than what we know as the United States, because there's only 13 colonies. Jamaica had more goods and services, cotton, fruit, cotton, sugar cane, things like that you can import and ship around the world. You make more money. So we care about Jamaica more. But the brother, General Tacky said, hey, man, we finna set this thing up. I'm sick of these crackers putting their hands on me. They rape my woman and sister. Let's do it. And they sent it up. But then they sent more people there, and they fought them off, killed over 500 brothers and sisters. But guess what happened? History. So they continue to import brothers and sisters onto the island of Jamaica. And the people who didn't die say, hey, y'all know Tacky did what he did last time, and we about to get stronger. And that's what they did. Oh, slow down. We just spent too much money on enslaving these people. We're going to set them free. And then guess what? And then we're going to keep some rich white people around. They can work for the white people, get money. Now, you got Jamestown, 13 colonies. Jamestown, I think it's New York. Their people in Jamestown, they get wind of this. And all of a sudden, the British, that's why the Civil War, 16 years later. See, it wasn't no Google. You couldn't Google and find, hey, man, they down there fighting in Jamaica. So you had to wait for the news to come up to the northern part of the North Americas. So they say, hey, man, y'all got to pay a little more now because we just got to fight those black people down there. They put a foot and arm behind. So we're going to have y'all as a stamp tax. And they like, hey, wait, they ain't got nothing to do with us. Taxation without representation. That's what they don't tell you about taxation by representation. Why we paying more? Because y'all almost got whooped. Now, we ain't with this. Them brothers whooped y'all. And then it's a couple of brothers say, hold it, the brothers down in Jamaica whooping people. We can whoop people too. So then that's when they start war and fighting and getting it in. So they subdued the brothers and sisters in Jamaica. But guess what? This is when the money thing started playing a role. The rich people in Jamaica, rich white folks, they had $58 to every $1 as the people in North America. So now you going, wait a minute. And the brothers is like, yeah, keep telling your grandson, keep telling your son, keep telling your nephews, we about to send this thing up. And so that news gets to the Americas. By the way, this is 16 years for the Revolutionary War and 30 years for the Haitian War, because this news is getting around that, hey, man, we ain't got to do this. And guess what? Just like now, that's why they want to subdue African-American studies, which has nothing to do with Black history. That's the study of people in this hemisphere and on the continent. See, because then if you realize that the Ashantis, one of the greatest fighting forces in the history of the world, got shipped over to Jamaica, and that's how those people were able to beat the hell out of those white folks down there. I mean, I might have some Ashanti in me, which I do. Shout out to Ancestry.com. Maybe that's why I fight all the time. Wait a minute. They gonna take these shackles off my brain. So now, guess what? And once you start realizing that, then you realize in South Carolina, what that dude, I'm not going to say his name, because when you say somebody's name, their name lives forever. The crazy white boy who got taken to Burger King, that's why he got taken to Burger King. Don't be fooled. You know, he went to that church. And guess who started that church? This brother by the name of Denmark Vesey. Why is Denmark Vesey important? Because he organized 3,800 enslaved people, but she always got that one joker ready to snitch. Like the Matrix. Remember the dude said, I know the shrimp ain't real, but it's good. It's always one. Understand, when you're watching these movies, they are telling you your history. You just don't know your history because they don't want you to read. Because if you read, then you'll find out how great you are. You find out how great you are. The next thing you know, you're unstoppable. Well, back to Denmark Vesey. Denmark Vesey and his guys get 3,800 brothers say, man, we about to send this thing up. And they got guns and everything, but then they end up getting quashed. But guess what? That's when the anniversary of that, the 100-year anniversary, 200-year anniversary of that, is when that white boy went in that church and shot them people up to make sure you don't rise up again. That's why. Let's just take it back in history. That's why Huey P. Newton got shot in the street of Oakland. He was dealing drugs. Right. Yeah, he was dealing. He might have been using something. He wasn't dealing. Then, just go back. That was 83. Then go back to 68. Fred Hampton said, hey, you Asian man, Latino man, poor white man, roll with the brothers. Pow. Martin King, hey, man, I'm sick of y'all. Y'all need to give us our money. Malcolm X. You know what? I think I'm start working with Malcolm X. Martin King. Marcus Garvey. He organized over 100,000 people in the United States of America to get ready to get up out of here and go back to the continent. We putting you in jail. We gonna trump up some fake charges and put you in jail and kick you out the country. Every time we step up, organize, pow. And if you mess around now, when you can pow back definitely and find out that HRap don't just be talking. He go to church on Sunday, and my man Pastor God, he hit him with some stuff. Then he study on his own. Then he watch videos, and he noticed, wait a minute, this story Gideon in the Bible is the same as this movie, the 300. And where does the Bible come from? The Bible comes from Africa. Wait a minute, man. So these stories that they've been telling us, the Matrix sounds a lot like Jesus, who I know who I am. I know who I'm sent by. I know I got power. All I got to do is put my mind in the right place, and God will give me the power to do what I need to do. Nothing can be harmed. Look, all those bullets shot at him, no weapon formed against me will hurt me. See, they don't want you to read. Let's not talk about TikTok and Instagram. The Bible is fake. I ain't never argued about nothing fake. Because when you grow, when you study to show yourself worthy, God steps in and empowers you. And if y'all black behinds get to learning how powerful y'all ancestors was, and then you mess around and find out that God made you first, which might make you God kind of partial to you, and give you the power to get up out of that mental slavery and get you closer to God and stronger, you might get out of slavery. But up until and including the moment you start studying, you're going to continue to suffer the consequences. You're going to still think money mean everything to you. You're going to still not talk to your friend because he made you mad that day. You still don't get mad at your old lady because she corrected you. See, we all need correction. I don't like being corrected. And you know what? I have a horrible poker face. So when people correct me, I'll probably be looking like, shit, Joe. And I'm probably thinking that. But I'm also taking notes in my head. I'm giving you before I check out, I'm giving you one thing about haters. Your hater is your greatest critic. And he knows everything that's wrong with you. See, HRap, you need to wear a shirt with the name of your thing. And that's why you're right. Next thing you know, I'm doing end of the bench t-shirts. Hey, where can I get one, HRap? Now y'all done bought 50 of those, and I done made 50 times 30, $1,500. See what I'm saying? So I got an editor on the end of the bench. If I make a mistake, they be in my butt. I hate it. I hate it. I be thinking, shut up. But that person be right, and I have to bow down. So if everybody's agreeing with you, you're in the wrong room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. If everybody praising you, you're in the wrong room. Because nobody's right all the time. But one thing I know I'm right about is this. If you're trying to be righteous, you will be in the right room. Because, look, just like caca attracts flies, righteousness attracts good people. And just be righteous. Educate yourself, study, work your behind off, and watch what happens. Now, just because success is on your horizon does not mean it's going to show up in the way you want it to show up. Trust me, I understand. You talk about a brother that used to set up high night. I'm starting to believe that some of my enemies' footstools. But what I want you to understand is this. It might not come the way you want it. And it has taken me forever to understand what I'm about to say. But it's coming. Patience requires strength. Silence requires patience. So shut your mouth and learn something and be patient and wait for it to happen. Now, we're not talking about emancipation, I'm talking about personal growth. What I want you to understand is this. If we continue to study with each other, referring each other to books, and we refer books to each other, and we enhance each other, we better people. Better people, we won't be oppressed. I don't need you to get up and go march with anybody. What I do need you to do is download that 5 Stars app. I need you, if you live in Illinois, tell me Duckworth, Durban. What the are y'all talking about? That's what we need you to do. Because if that Safe Act get passed, your boy can't vote. My sisters can't vote. My mother wouldn't have been able to vote. My grandmother wouldn't have been able to vote. Your grandmother can't vote because if she married to your granddad, she can't vote. Understand. These people are not playing, man. And it is, oh man, it don't have to be black and white, HRap. Well, until they stop making it black and white, then I'm gonna stop talking about it. But then I got other complaints too. I got so many complaints. I could do 2 hours of this show, but I've been doing 45 minutes. That's enough. It's almost time for me to kayate bendejo, cabrón. That means shut up, dummy. With that being said, I want to thank you guys. Thank you for your support. I need you to hit that like if you haven't. Hit that share. Yeah, there's a black button on the right side of it. Like the bottom it says the end of the bench, episode 33, And then right at the end of that, down a little bit like quarter, like 1/8 of an inch, it's a black thing that says subscribe. I need you to hit that. Or I need you to go. And it'd be advantageous for you to do this. This is right here. Go to www.endofthebench.com and watch that Black History thing on the right-hand side. And watch the other episodes to help your man out. With that being said, it's your man, HRap. Watch this to the end. Dr. Amos Wilson is saying some good stuff. At the end of the show, he says it every day. I want you to understand this, man. I want you to understand it. I want you to understand. Oh, I'm not saying that. No hello. I ain't talking no more. For the people who just got in there, thank you for tapping in. I really appreciate you. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend, tell a friend. And the people who've been on the show, I really appreciate you too. But I'm about to go. And how I go every day, 2 fingers. Peace. 1 word is peace. And y'all never hear me say these words, but
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why